The Isiah Factor Uncensored starts now. And welcome to the Factor Uncensored. You may remember this video from 2 weeks ago when a Houston police officer, now former officer, found herself terminated. Let's take a look.
I kid you not. I don't know what came over me. I grabbed by the neck and I was like, "Come here, you." And oh my God, like I felt like the world just stopped. Like it was just peace. I don't know. And then he was just like even I in my head, I was like, "Damn, te pasaste," because I called him a.
And joining us now here on the Factor Uncensored to talk about this, President of the Houston branch of the NAACP, Bishop James Dixon. Bishop Dixon, they have been investigating all of the cases that Ashley Gonzalez may have touched or been a part of, and we know more than 30 included black individuals. Your thoughts on which direction the district attorney's office should go with these cases that she may have touched? And of course, we've seen her on that racial rant.
Well, first of all, Isiah, it's certain that that racial rant depicted the fact that this individual has a belief system that would inform other decisions and other actions and behaviors, which is why I think the DA should investigate this and see what, and if any, were there any racially motivated arrests, and how did she respond when she was arresting these individuals, the majority of whom were black. Mm-hmm. That tells us a lot. And then what are the other officers doing around her if and when she did depict some actions or behaviors that were anti-African American or suggest that she was somehow getting even with black people, because racism looks for a place to happen. And I think that's very important. Racism always looks for a place to happen. If you're a banker, it looks for a place to happen in denying loans. If you are a police officer, it looks for a place to happen in making an arrest and doing bodily and other harms.
When we talk about the Ashley Gonzalez case that just shocked so many people here in the city of Houston and around the country, mm-hmm. should we have been shocked by this?
Well, one mind says, yes, of course we should be shocked. But then another mind, because we live this reality, Isiah, we're not so shocked. It is a terrible reality to understand that racism is has perpetuated itself in America throughout our history. And racism wears different colors. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's really shocking. But to see a young lady, as beautiful as she is, as gifted and talented as she has to have been or must be, but yet to espouse these kinds of values, hatred, and indignation towards a particular race, you wouldn't expect that of someone her age in 2026. But that's the reality that we're living with. And we do know that the nature, the culture of our nation right now is lifting the lid off of racism in so many different facets, and people feel emboldened to say what they feel and to do what they believe.
Let's get back to the 30-plus cases. I think the number may be 33 that she handled that involved African Americans. Do you think the district attorney's office should go through each case and weigh what the potential crimes were, or because she was involved, automatically throw them out?
I think that they should weigh each case. Each mm-hmm. case should be examined on its own merit.
Because one could be a murder, one could be assaulting a child.
And she could have arrested someone who needed to be arrested.
Yes.
Would not suggest that everyone she touched had to be falsely handled, but the cases should be investigated each individually on their own merits to see, did she handle herself professionally in those circumstances? Was all the rest justifiable, or was she venting? In one of her statements on the video, she says, if I get a 911 call and it's a black person, I'm taking that person to jail.
Wow.
Which meant that she would have found a reason to take a black person to jail, even if they were the one calling 911. So I think that merits each case being looked at individually to investigate to see, was she acting professionally, decently, and in order and ethically, or did she cross some other lines?
One of the things that Mayor John Whitmire said, he wanted her also to lose her license. Now, that's not a city function. That's at the state level. Was he right to say he want her to lose her state license as a law enforcement officer? Is that the direction we need to go in to ensure she's not back on the force?
I think the mayor's position is right on this issue. A person carrying a badge and a gun with the order to protect the public, has to honor and respect all of the public. And without that basic value, that person should not have a license to carry that gun or that badge.
Now, I got a call as soon as this video came out, and many people in the police department realized what was going on, and it was that in fact, an officer, they identified her as an HPD officer. They said, I guarantee you, Isiah, she would be out in 72 hours. And she was out in 72 hours. So do you think the city, the police department, all handled this properly and in a timely fashion?
Well, first of all, I was on the Factor the night that this story broke.
Yeah.
And in communication with officials the very next morning. And like you, we received the kind of suggestion that this was going to be handled speedily, expeditiously, and it was. I think that HPD did the right thing. They got right to it. The firing took place, and it was really in record timing based on some other instances. So I have to give them a commendation for handling it the right way.
With something like this happening, and this is not a reflection on all police officers in the city of Houston, but is there a need now to make sure that there is outreach to the community, that HPD has a presence that not only suggests we are protecting the community, we're protecting you, and we're here, we're part of this community, we know you?
I think there's definitely a need for us to revisit what Lee Brown brought to Houston, community-oriented policing. Relationship building at the street level between communities and police is extremely important. And we could see the change in Houston's culture when former Chief Lee Brown brought that concept and was carried on by several chiefs. I think we've got to get back to that. And listen, if the police and the community don't have relationships, you're going to have situations that get out of hand unnecessarily. I think this is an opportunity for us to revisit that. And I think having persons like myself and others to come in to talk to cadets before they are sworn in, to help them to understand that this is a job where you've got to have no bias. You've got to be clear that every human being is varied the same, and you have to understand how to even communicate with persons in various communities and from various cultures, because this is the most diverse city in Houston, Texas. You've got to be well-versed and understand that you cannot treat someone based on what you heard they were. You got to treat them based on who they actually are. I think that's very important in Houston, especially at a time like this.
All right, Bishop James Dixon, thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored and, of course, staying on top of this case. And we'll be back with more Factor Uncensored in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We have more Factor coming your way.
Visit the
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Many Americans are complaining about it. Members of Congress becoming wealthy rich, multimillionaires while serving in Congress. We have individuals like Nancy Pelosi worth well over $100 million. Rick Scott, tens of millions of dollars. We have lots of lawmakers worth millions of dollars in Washington, D.C., and many feel like it may be some form of insider trading. Joining us to talk about this here on The Factor Uncensored, we have with us Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld and Dr. David Branham. Glad to both have you here on The Factor Uncensored. When we talk about some of those names, and they are in Congress, and many of them got wealthy while in Congress, should people be pissed off about it when you think about people like Nancy Pelosi, worth well over $100 million?
I would say that they should be more than pissed off about it. I think that we're talking about insider trading, and we've seen people like Martha Stewart go to jail for something like this.
And for those who are not quite familiar with insider trading, explain that to us layman's terms.
In layman's terms, you have information that other people don't have, and then you make investments that will make you money because of that information. And
members of Congress are privy to a lot of information the average public or the average person in the public would not have.
That's right. And if you look at it, it's pretty obvious. Somebody like Nancy Pelosi, when you bring her name up, for every dollar she invested in Congress, she got $161 back.
Wow.
That's incredible. Either
and that's some compounded interest.
Yeah, either these husbands and children are the most brilliant financial geniuses that there are, or there's some insider trading going on, or just unethical things where people are making money because of the information they have that isn't released to the public, and they have it because they're an elected official, and they're making a lot of money from it. And I hate to just leave it at Nancy Pelosi. There's all kinds of members of Congress doing it.
Both Democrats and Republicans.
It's a bipartisan effort to make a whole bunch of money off of your job by knowing what's going on. And I think people need to pay attention to it. I think people who do it should be in jail. And so this is a problem that has been ignored way too long. We need to do something about this. And at least this bill is a start, saying you're not going to make millions and millions of dollars off of insider information that you have, that you make, where you go out and make an investment behind the scenes so you can make your money.
And we sort of slipped that in casually, Dr. von Biedenfeld, this bill. What bill is Dr. Branham specifically talking about, so the viewer knows exactly what's going on here when it comes to investing in Washington, D.C. with members of Congress?
Right. Well, you've got a two-stage bill, and it's already come out of the committee. You've got the House version, and then, of course, the Senate version of this Insider Trading Act, where you were looking at restricting, as Dr. Branham said, this access to tomorrow's news today. And so if you go through the text of the bill, you don't want to. It's really not stopping a lot of the already enriched members of Congress, but it does stop new purchases of stock and to stop some of this new access to information. But it's unlikely to pass in its current version because I think it's got to be watered down. At the end of the day, we continue to send these members of Congress, these senators, repeatedly to D.C. on our behalf, and they are staying because they're making money. We've lost that purpose of the civilian who goes to D.C., serves the public for a few years, probably loses money, and then returns back to their farm or ranch or other ventures. So now it's become a very politically valuable thing. The idea that Nancy Pelosi has possibly made 16,000% returns on her investments over the years. This idea that she's not the only one of either party to come in with debt and then leave with hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not a new tale. At the end of the day, this is not the first version of it. But we've seen many versions of different laws with the executive orders that require plain English. Try to read a law today. They're not in plain English. We've seen a number of campaign or term limitations proposed by various people all the way back to Ron Paul. Those haven't passed or have been severely watered down. So it's unlikely that Congress will restrict themselves on their terms, on how they can solicit campaigns, or on how they trade beyond some sort of performative measures that say, well, guess what? In the future, we're not going to do this.
Now, we're going to talk about the president in just a moment after the break. But first, before we get that, Isn't this something that President Trump is pushing as well? He said he wants to see this passed in Congress. And of course, we're going to talk about President Trump and his issues after the break. But first, isn't this something the president wants?
Yeah, it looks good because you're basically saying, I want to have more integrity in Congress if you're the president. But it's almost nonsensical when you see the actions that he personally has taken, him and his family.
Well, those actions. We're going to talk about those actions in just a second.
I mean, it's
rules for thee, not for me.
And what I'm insinuating is what the president usually wants, he gets. So will this likely pass, Dr. von Biedenfeld?
I think it will. But again, I think a watered-down version. There's plenty of time to carve out certain exceptions to say, well, this is within 30 days or we can't make trades within 24 hours. But again, Congress may have access to privileged information with regard to seizures, tariffs, any sort of manufacturing liabilities, et cetera, 48, 72, a week in advance. And how does this then influence their votes where maybe they were on the fence and then they realized they could make a lot of money?
Of course, when we come back here on The Factor Uncensored, we haven't forgot about President Donald Trump. I'm sure you guys want to hear about that as well. And what is his role and his family's role in enriching themselves while in the White House, the allegations that are out there. We'll talk about that, plus more, coming your way after this break on The Factor Uncensored. Don't go anywhere.
This program is being brought to you by Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're talking about a bill that would possibly stop some members of Congress from enriching themselves through investment stocks while serving in Congress. Now, many people are pointing the finger at President Donald Trump and his family, saying they are constantly enriching themselves while serving in the presidency and, of course, in the White House. Joining us now back once again, Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld and Dr. David Branham. So is the president, who's willing to say it, is he enriching himself while serving in the White House?
I can't say for sure, but it sure looks like it. It sure looks like it. I mean, you know, he knows how to insulate things. He knows how to make it where you can't see it. But in almost every case, we just got through talking about Congress. I mean, basically, the president has to insulate himself, but members of his family are a lot more free to do what they want. The spouses, the children, they can make investments. And Are we actually depending on Donald Trump not telling them the insider information that they need to make these investments where they're going to make millions and millions of dollars? I don't think so. I don't think it's very trustworthy to believe that. So I think that it's pretty obvious he's making a whole lot of money as part of his presidency. If you ask his supporters, they're probably saying, well, he's just a smart man. That's why he's making all this money. Well, no, he's a person who knows what the information is. He knows what's going to happen for anybody else. So he can make those investments, make those adjustments where he's going to make a lot of money.
In any other presidency, Dr. von Biedenfeld, a president, if they behave this way when it comes to investing and cryptocurrency, they would have been indicted and thrown out, impeached, thrown out of the office. It is a different time now, and we're willing as a country to accept this. Your thoughts about the president, if you believe he's enriching himself?
At the end of the day, it's very difficult to say he's not, because all of the where there's smoke, there's fire. And so when you see Jared Kushner or one of his sons going to a foreign country and then that country investing hundreds of millions of dollars in the hotel, the prior administration, when there was a Trump hotel and the rates were not moved down to government rates and foreign dignitaries would stay at the Trump hotel and it would be at capacity after not being used very much as soon as he became president, and all of that money was going into things where the president said, well, I don't actually see this money. I'm not sure how he wouldn't. And so we've got these ideas of Trump media, we've got these ideas about certain cryptocurrency, and so all of these things are pretty blatant expressions of using the brand image of the president to enrich himself and his family. I don't think other presidents had the clout with Congress or the courts to say, I'm going to bully you into submission. This president does have that clout, and so I don't think anybody believes that there are any barriers to his retribution. And so most people are going to keep quiet, even if you see a $100 million investment. I mean, of course, Angela Box isn't here to talk about Hunter Biden, but
that's what I was going to say. Right. You didn't.
I don't know that those paintings were Van Gogh quality, but the energy deals out of Ukraine, the painting, those are very similar to what we've seen across a broader scale and scope of President Trump's family. But at the end of the day, the argument is going to be they're just good business people, or they don't control whether a country gives us a new Air Force One, or whether a country provides additional investment dollars to a certain area. We don't control that. They just choose to give it to us because we're good business people is going to be the defense.
All right. We want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. And we'll be back with more Factor in just a moment. Stay with us. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Hantavirus is in the headlines as of late after passengers on a cruise ship became ill. The question is, if you're traveling abroad or around the country, are you prepared as we hit the summer months? We brought in Dr. Tim Waugh to prepare you. Now, Dr. Waugh, for those who are concerned that they may be traveling abroad this summer, out and about, what are some of the illnesses that we need to be aware of? Obviously, the hantavirus on a cruise ship from rat droppings and all of that. What are some of the other illnesses we need to be careful about this summer while traveling?
Well, just overall, making sure that anything like a flu or a cough or anything that's respiratory that can travel in the air that any individuals can breathe in is an obvious situation. But your obvious are your staph, your strep, anything that you can come in contact with. And the best way to really deal with that is just look at your surroundings. If you are going into, say, for instance, when we're talking about that particular virus, but anything, like, for instance, there are Airbnbs, there are cabins, there are small or may not have been really opened up establishments to where you go in and it has that dank smell. You need to let it ventilate. It's just those kinds of common sense concepts to make sure that when you go abroad or if you go, even in the States, that you're watching, what you're around, especially when you're around people. Masks are an option, N95 or KN95s or just your average yellow mask. Definitely washing surfaces, washing your hands.
And for those who may be traveling internationally, like to another country, even Mexico, what are some precautions that they need to take? And should you make sure you're up to date with all of your vaccines? I mean, once you get many of these vaccines as a kid or young people, you're pretty good. But are there any vaccines we need to update before we travel to another country abroad?
So the CDC is going to have a guideline for all vaccines that you need to be up to date. Most of the time, you're going to need to have those up to date before you even go to that country. So it's best to check to see what are those vaccines that are needed before you actually enter into that country, because they will turn you around. But the other thing, the biggest thing is just making sure that wherever you go, you look at what are some potential hazards as it relates to if they are having issues with water, if they're having issues with, outbreaks. It's just always good to research where you're going, what might come up as problems.
All right, Dr. Tim Waugh, we appreciate your time here on The Factor Uncensored, getting us prepared for the summer. In case you're traveling around the country or abroad, make sure you're ready and inoculated in any form or fashion to make sure you protect yourself. Thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored, sir. And of course, we'll be checking in with you if there are any more emergencies out there we need your advice for. So thank you.
You're watching the Isiah Factor Uncensored.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. One of the most popular emails that we receive here at The Factor Uncensored, people complaining about the conditions that they live in the apartments here in the city of Houston. But there may be some light at the end of the tunnel. Joining us now here on The Factor Uncensored, Houston City Council member Tiffany Thomas. And of course, congratulations to the damn people here in the city of Houston. This new ordinance that has passed will provide them some relief. Tell us about that ordinance.
Absolutely. Definitely was a win for Houstonians at council, where we voted unanimously to move this ordinance forward. The reality is 50% of Houstonians are leaseholders. They're renters. And so we have to underscore our commitment to quality of life and affordable housing. Many of the residents, and you spoke of the emails that you received. We received similar emails at City Hall about the conditions, squalor, structures that need assistance, public safety issues, mold in their apartment units, rodents, rats, you name it. And we haven't had an official formal way of addressing those issues, and today we do.
And really quick, because neither one of us have said this, it's the apartment inspection ordinance.
The apartment inspection ordinance, that's the official name of the ordinance that was passed, yes.
And for those who are finding it difficult to get a response from management or owners of apartment complexes, how will this ordinance help them?
Absolutely. We hosted 2 public meetings so we can engage residents and leaseholders and operators about what the proposed language would be. And what we learned is that many Houstonians didn't even realize that the city had an obligation to address many of their concerns. It starts with 311, and I know we repeat that throughout the city for all constituent issues, but that is actually the place where we start. And we changed the process so we're not complaint-driven and we're really more surgical. So we've identified our top 25 bad actors in the city with Houston Public Works and the police department for the highest calls of service, so we can start today addressing the bad actors in our cities.
And what does that look like, addressing those bad actors? What will you actually do?
Well, for the ones that we already have identified, they have more than 10 citations, varying from $250 to $2,000 a day. Those are the fines. Everything from health violations, stairwells falling apart, dilapidated units, you name it. Issues with public safety with HPD. So we already have them on the list, and we're working to make sure that they resolve their issues in a timely manner to make sure that we keep Houstonians in safe, affordable housing.
And when people hear this, they may be living in squalor or living in an apartment complex that may not be up to standards for the city of Houston, they're going to want to take action. Yep. So do we have the infrastructure in place in the city of Houston to handle these calls now? How do you even file a complaint? Do you go online? Do you call 311? What?
Yeah, start with 311. And then I would also start with your leasing agent, your property manager. One of the things that we were emphasizing at those community meetings, that you have to have a relationship with the people that you're under a contract with. And oftentimes, many individuals would only call 311 if they were not in relationship with their property management. So yes, start with 311. Document your issues. Document the mold. Document the rodents. Document that. So that will then trigger an inspection from one of our various city departments. The good news with this ordinance, we've identified efficient and effective ways for us to be surgical. We have representatives from HPD, Solid Waste, Public Works, Health Department, you name it. So we're making sure that we're coordinated in our effort, and our efforts are not scattered, so Houstonians can get the results that they're demanding and require.
And how soon will these departments or divisions of the city of Houston respond? Was this an unfunded mandate, or did you guys put any money into it to be able to sustain?
Very good question. I like to say in the city of Houston, we operate off of practice and not policy, and today's vote was about policy.
Did you almost said promissory note? We'll pay you later. It's on layaway.
But as we enter budget season, what I've been sharing is that this is the opportunity for us to evaluate, making sure that we have the personnel and the funding to make sure that it's not an unfunded mandate, but it's actually a part of our priorities. And so, no, we have the personnel in place. And what we're asking our city departments and our leads to do is to come back to council within 6 months. Come back to us in a year. Tell us what you've witnessed. Tell us about the completion rate. Tell us about what you're, dealing with and what resources you need so we can make those allocations.
And what would you say now to the constituents out there who for years felt hopelessness,
Yeah.
unable to do anything about the apartment complexes that they live in, and they feel powerless.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the reality. The ordinance is not a fix-all, right? And a lot of times we vote on things and we think it's going to fix every issue. The gate's still going to break at the apartment complex. The lights still may not work. You still may experience mold because we're a disaster city. We're a climate city. We may have a hurricane. You may be out of power for 11 days and have a leak. So we know that we live in conditions that will create certain things, but the city's taking more responsibility and becoming more responsive to that work. There is support. There is help. And we need to know we can't, respond to something we're not aware of. So don't lose hope. But we're also, while we have this ordinance on the books, we're also looking at those who are living in Texas. One of the things that we realize is that a lot of these bad actors, they don't even live here.
Right.
We can't even access them. And so we're looking to capture the accurate information. Who are they? Are they, is there a consistent theme with multiple properties? So then we can escalate some of our enforcement. And at the end of the day, I think it pushes and challenges council and the mayor's administration to advance quality housing. Because if we can take one off the line, we need to replace it with affordable new construction so seniors and those with disabilities and young families have a place to go.
All right, Councilmember Thomas, thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored, and congratulations, job well done. I'm sure the people out there are excited about it. We appreciate you stopping by here on The Factor Uncensored.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more Factor in just a moment. Stay with us. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. As usual, scam artists out there trying to take advantage of you. We have the latest that may end up in your text message. Let's talk about it. And Karen Diamont joins us, our social media expert. And Karen, a lot of people have been coming forward after I posted this on my Facebook and Instagram, a warning that came from a friend indicating that a lot of people are getting this scam, this notice saying that they have a fine that they need to pay involving a traffic citation. And of course, they're telling you to scan this QR code. But many people, you don't have a traffic violation. So clearly, this is a scam because a lot of people have said, I've received this. What are you hearing from social media?
Absolutely. I actually was with a friend on Friday when she received that exact same text message that you posted on your social media. And so I am seeing it obviously across the board. And I don't know if you know this, but there's a technical term for what's known as a text scam, and it's called smishing. I don't know if you know that.
Mishing or smishing with an
Mishing.
SM?
Smishing. So historically, the phishing scams, the clickbait scams were known as phishing scams. These are modern age scams that are coming in the form of a text message. So they're becoming known as smishing scams.
Wow, wow. So you have to be careful out there. And I assume the whole goal is to get you to scan that QR code and pay whatever fine they come up with, because it's a generic notice that everyone gets.
Correct. And so I always think it's important for us to be aware of a scam. Warning will always come in the form of something you didn't know was out there. Like if you have tolls, or if you have a citation, if you have a bill to pay, you will always recognize it. So the first thing to be alert about is do you recognize this? Is this something that could potentially belong to you, or does it look like a scam? Don't fall for these scams.
And of course, we want to remind people, don't call either. Now, if you are like me and you just have to have an answer, then I would call the county, Harris County. I wouldn't call any information, any number on the document or the text that they sent me.
No.
I would call the actual Harris County Toll Road Authority or the municipal court system, but I would totally ignore any information on that document. And of course, we're showing the document here on The Factor. Take a look at it and make sure you're aware if you get it. Go ahead, Karen.
And you can also go to that authority. If you do get something from the Texas Toll Road Authority, go to their website. And you're right, call them directly, but go to their website, because they'll usually publish and says, this is a known scam that we're aware of. It's going around. And so they'll forthcomingly make you aware of known scams that are going around related to that governmental entity.
And of course, that's just not here in Houston or Texas. It's all around the country. So guys out there, be careful, use your best judgment. And once again, as Karen said, do not text or scan any QR codes or respond to anything from that text. Go to the actual agency in your jurisdiction. Ignore that message, because 9 times out of 10, you probably don't have a problem. It's just they're phishing or smishing and hoping to land a victim like you. Karen, always good to see you here on The Factor Uncensored. And still to come here on The Factor Uncensored, a Mother's Day surprise. One woman here in Houston that you may know will never forget. We'll be right back. welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Esther Lewis Bernard has been in business nearly 20 years in the city of Houston. Her restaurant, a staple. Esther's, known for its soul food. But now Esther is celebrating Mother's Day with a surprise she will never forget. Let's take a look.
How do you feel? The big reveal for your new restaurant. This is a hell of a Mother's Day gift.
I feel, words can't even explain it. You know what? When I walked in here, it was nothing but tears of joy. And I feel wonderful and great. I'm so proud of Drew, my daughter, and Mo for an outstanding job, you know. But I feel wonderful and great and happy and blessed.
And Drew, your mom has been the queen of restaurants for the last 18 years. And what made you come up with this concept and say, let's do Esther 2.0?
Actually, Isiah, being the second oldest of the family, many people don't know my mom has 6 children. I'm the second oldest. So the 2 is a representation of that, understanding that this was a family legacy. And with legacy, in order for it to be stewarded and to be able to go forward, then we are responsible for that as the next generation. So that 2 is a representation of legacy and legacy going forward.
And when you saw her reaction, when you did the big reveal, we have some video of that. What was her reaction like for you seeing it?
Well, I knew that was going to be her reaction. But in that moment, it was surreal. I was grateful. I was grateful for the journey because it's been 18 years for our family, and I've had the opportunity to be alongside of my mom the 16 years of that. And so to see her with everything that is taken for her to get to this place, it has been a blessing and an honor to pay it back and pay it forward.
And to have your children, because when many people have a family legacy or family business, the children are like, I've had enough, I don't want to be a part of it. Yes. But to have Drew embrace it and then name it after you, what is that like to have those 2 factors working together?
It's wonderful. I feel great about it because, you know, she can take that legacy and move it on and, you know, send it down generation to next generation to her children, you know? So I feel great about it, you know? It's amazing. And to, it may be an Esther 3.0.
All right, hold your horses. So, Drew, let's take a look around. This is incredible. How did you decide to design this? What did you come up with the look?
Well, one of my first loves, Isiah, is design. So I was very intentional about this, the design of this particular place and bringing it forward with like relevant things that are trendy, that are experiences, things that we want to see like in our generation and in our culture. So incorporating the bar, creating a beautiful atmosphere, because forever soul food has been known for the steam tables and things like that, but we want to show in
no air conditioning,
no air, flies,
Kool-Aid.
And we want to show that we're evolving, right? Like not just as a family, but that soul food is evolving, that our culture is evolving, and that this is something that's for everybody to come and enjoy.
And how would you describe the look, the decor here?
So we describe this as luxury.
Okay.
So it is legacy meets luxury. That's our tagline.
And honey, you feel luxurious?
Yes, because someday I want to come in here. You know, now I can come in here with my little fine dress on. Look at you, your little skirt on. Yes, you know.
And of course, number one, the big thing will be the food.
Absolutely.
And people will be looking for, I mean, if you say Esther, then you say Esther 2.0.
That's right.
You got something to live up to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so let's take a look at some of the food real quick. All right, let's go.
Let's go and see it.
Now here's a look at some of this. Some high-ass food. Not the typical soul food we expect, but there is soul in this food.
Absolutely.
What do we have here?
That's the key. So we have our chicken fried, this is our chicken and waffles, and it's our same honey smoked chicken. It's that same Belgian waffle that we do. So we still have those same recipes, but we just elevated it and plated it beautifully. We got our oxtails, same Southern style oxtails on top of those Southern grits.
And what do you think, Esther? Taking a look at these dishes.
I'm looking at it, it's like amazing. It's beautiful, you know? Hey, great job, you know? Beautiful job.
Now, did you slip in your mom's kitchen and get these recipes?
I mean, hey, I had to. This is where the roots are. You know, this is where the soul is. So when people eat, they remember that. This is what they're coming back for. So we still want to give them that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the draw. And of course, there's a lot of space in here. So it's more than just a restaurant bar or restaurant lounge. You have an event space here as well.
Absolutely, yes. We have a private venue space. It's a restaurant and lounge, and so we have private space for guests to rent out. We have a private meeting room, which we're in right now. Wow. Yes. So this is over 6,400 square foot.
Drew is bringing back the days when my mother used to set the table for us back in the day.
Absolutely.
I come from a family of 11, and Mom used to set the table, you know, on the holidays. And she's bringing back that look, that culture. I love it.
Absolutely. Well, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
There you go. There you go. Thank you guys for stopping by the Factor.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
No problem.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We have a very special surprise for you today on The Factor, Mother's Day. We have our favorite singer, Kylan, in the house to debut his latest single, his release, which will be available on all platforms by the time you watch this performance. It's called Good Thang. Thang, T-H-N-G. Here's Kylan. Take it away.
got your good woman, you gotta let her know. I found me a good thing. That's for all my ladies out there. Fellas, grab your girl. Yeah. Oh, I've been through my share of lonely nights, wrong turns, red flags in the light. Heart got tired of the same old game, 'cause love ain't love when it comes with a change. And you walked in, didn't say too much. Your energy said more than enough. Didn't have to change, didn't have to prove. Baby, you just fell right in my groove. I found me a good thing. Yeah, I found me a good thing. Sing it with me. Say, I found me a good thing. Grab your one. Found me a good thing. Two steps. I found with me. Oh, I found me a good thing. Oh, hey, you're the rhythm when the band starts to play. Front porch love, no hesitation. Laugh like summer in the Louisiana heat. Got me dancing every time that we meet. It ain't about the flash, it ain't about the show. It's how you hold me, never let me go. Real love don't come easy, I know. That's why I thank my God that I didn't miss you. I found me a good thing. Hey, I found me a grab your woman, tell her I found me a good thing. No games, no drama in between. You're the truth, baby, what I have seen. From the jump, it was crystal clear. You're the one I've been needing here. Turn me round, spin me, let the music play. I ain't worried, we ain't worried about yesterday. Two step, slide with me. Real love is all I need. Found me a good. Don't wanna let you go. Found sweet like summer moon. Steady like a slow roll. Found good woman for me. I love that girl. Good loving in the morning. Good loving in the afternoon. Good loving in the evening time. Good loving on Sunday too. Found me a good thing. Found me a good thing.
And we'd like to thank Kylan for appearing here on The Factor Uncensored with that great song. And of course, it is available on all streaming platforms and for sale May 8th. So go check it out. And make sure you check us out on YouTube at Isiah Factor Uncensored. You can catch many of the segments you've already missed. And of course, on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and X. That'll do it for us. Have a good one.